Alright, it's a new Inspiration Wednesday. It means a new page. And I'm going to set this up. I'm going to get my masking tape. And I am going to tape my spine. And I actually took the book and I've been realizing that if I fold the book in a different way when I work, then it's going to be a little bit more flat. Because if I take it the way it is, I'm working kind of against this. So I just take some of the beginning pages. Open it up like that, and now it's flatter. Right, so let's take that. And I actually don't even have product in front of me today that I kind of work with, so I really am winging this one. Get some more tape, and then I'll just sew this sucker up and look around my space, and hopefully I'll come up with something to put on there. But in the meantime, I know the answer to start with is gesso. Alright, so as I was drawing, I looked over. I've got these old books. One of them is an old dictionary that I got for like crazy cheap. So at the depot, if you've been in this area. And I'm just ripping random pages out. And I think I'm just going to put them there. Gastric. That's the word of the day. And just glue them right down. I'm going to use some matte medium. This is the fluid medium. And you could use Collage Page or gel medium or anything, but I've been liking using the fluid medium lately. So try to get most of the color off my brush. My water's gross. And I'm just going to collage this in. Now I've got all those sides covered, and I'm going to go in with the matte medium again and just put another layer over top because I'm going to add paints and other colorings to this, so I want to make sure that that paper is really sealed underneath a layer of acrylic because I don't want the paper itself to die. Answer that telephone. One moment, please. Alright, so I started recording this and the phone rang. So I'm putting an extra layer of gel medium or matte medium on top of this because I want to seal that paper in there, because if I'm going to go ahead and put medias on top, like acrylic paint or ink or something, I don't want the paper to absorb it. I want it to kind of roll over it. So this is just an easy way to sealing it. It's probably not the right way, but you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to let this kind of soak in there, dry it, and then I'll come back and we'll start adding stuff on top to the book. So I just went into my drawer of rub-ons and stickers, and I have this random bit of stickers. I've obviously used the top part, and it's obviously stuck together. So this is what I've got here, and I don't want to use the green, but I'm thinking the beige might be fun to use. So I am just going to randomly just stick these on here. This is, I guess I'm feeling the crunch. I'm randomly trying to get all of these sticker letters done before the end of the year. And it's looking quite daunting at this point because I have a lot. So I'm just going to put these in here and come back when my whole page is empty, at least of these beige ones down here. Just another coat of the matte medium to make sure the stickers don't come up, because you know stickers are only so sticky. Now the question is, now what? So I just got in the fluid, the high flow fluid acrylics by Golden, and I have these three colors sitting here, and they're pretty. And I'm thinking maybe I'll just take the teal for right now and just see what it does, because this will be my first time. Maybe they're sealed. Let's see. Let's take that off and see what we get. I think they're going to have a lot of the properties of the airbrushing paint, but do I want to paint it? Maybe I just want to spritz it, because that's kind of fun too, right? disregard my husband's loud talking on the phone. Maybe I could do this. Alright, so it's my first time using it. And it's cool because it's still opaque. It's not really transparent. But it is obviously more fluid. But what's really cool is if you look at the back, it tells you what pigments are in it. Titanium white, whatever these PW, PB, whatever. Phthalo blue, green shade. And phthalo green, blue shade. That's kind of cool. And they all say it. Nickel azo gold, carbon black. This is for sepia. So that's a little bit of information I didn't know before. And does that change my life forever? No. But the other thing I figured let's try is I have the fluorescent blue in the high flow, and I have the fluorescent blue in what this is like. It's really like a soft acrylic. So I'm just gonna see if it changes anything. Maybe I'll get out my palette pad here. All right, so this is how I learn about things and which is better to use and so on and so forth. Drop the cap on the floor. How about I pick that up? Alright, so got that one open. Let's put it on the palette pad. Okay, obviously watery. Let's see if even the colors look the same. This one. Dog barking in the background. Alright, so I would say, you know what, the colors, they look quite the same. Doesn't look like one's a watered down version of the other. So let me just stick my finger here and I glued all my pages together. Just add a little bit of that. That's the fluorescent blue. Now let's add some of this. Okay, so obviously more potent because it's thicker. I think for this purpose, I think I like the soft body better. And I'm just going to add some of that fluorescent blue around the edge over here. And continue to think about what the heck I'm going to do from this point. Maybe I'll take some of that off. Because I have the gel, the matte medium underneath there, I have a couple minutes of leeway before I'm committed. Let's see if... do a wash over this. This is kind of looking really ugly to me, so maybe I'll dry it. And let's just, maybe I should just drop a little bit over here. Because I can. Maybe I'll just, wow, now I can't stop. Just put it everywhere. Okay, now I'll stop. I'm going to dry that. So when in doubt, I'm out of control. This is almost dry maybe. I'm going to put a whitewash over it because I don't like it. So Jess was your friend. And let's see if I can't wash a coat of Jess over this. I don't want to cover it all up. But I do want to get rid of it. I'm thinking, how about a stencil? I used this week in Collage Monday. And I do love this stencil. So I'm thinking I'm just going to spray it on there, see what we get. Looking for my black spray paint. Alright, so I have made some spray paint. These are the bottles that they come in. They're these 2 per pack. They are actually quite hard plastic, and they're the best for doing spray paint because they don't squeeze, and I just don't have them clog very often. So, all right, let's see if I can't get this face in there. Okay. It's always nerve-wracking to spray. That came out fabulous, by the way, and just a little FYI, because I haven't dried that yet. I have one of those tone journals, a big one. You can see I've got all kinds of smushy stuff in there. So I just find a page, and I take what's left over on my stencil instead of wiping it off and just wasting it. I will get something like that, and then I just let it dry, and my stencil's cleaner, and yeah, that becomes my junk journal for all the leftover stuff. So I digress. I'm going to dry this, and I will be back. Now I am thinking I want to take a little phthalo turquoise and maybe a little bit of retarder. Now retarder will make this dry much slower, and it will help me shadow a little bit easier. So let's just say I'm going to go into the phthalo, and then I'm going to tap my finger into a little of the retarder and just kind of frame outside of her face. Going a step further and taking just a little bit of anthraquinone around that edge too. Again with the retarder, just so I can blend it or open it. There we go. Alright, so I want to do the same thing with the inside of her face, and I'm thinking fluorescent. I know, crazy, right? Do I use fluorescent pink soft, or I'm going to go with the soft body. Maybe even some magenta with it. Because you know I can't use those without each other. So, let's see. I might use some retarder with it too. So let me just take a little bit of retarder and put it on my palette here. And then maybe just use the lids. That's the only thing I don't like about the jars. I contaminate my paint way too easily. Alright, so I've got the lids here. So to go in with the dark, I think I'm going to go in with the magenta. As crazy as that might sound, I totally love the fluorescent on the face. And I'm going to go with permanent violet dark, I think, for the hair. And I didn't actually end up going into the pink. I kept with just the magenta and kept it a single shade there. So I'm just going to go into the purple and kind of outline the hair. Alright, so now I'm just going to go in to her eyes and just put the white parts of her eyes. I'm just using one of the really fine, I think it's a 2mm Montana pen, just to put the details in. Now I'm just going to use the blue, I think shock blue light, to make her eyes. But you know what, I'm thinking that looks a lot like the background. Maybe green is a better choice. Well, let me put the blue down, and then I'll put the green on top. Every color of the rainbow should be in your work. The only color that's really not here is yellow. So let's put it in. So I've just got, it's one of those precision tip bottles. It's got the Indian yellow hue in it. And I'm just going to splatter. So I've kind of dug into my stamp drawer and I pulled out Dream, and then I pulled out, I've been collecting these at Michael's, you get them, they're like in the dollar bin. And then this, so I'm going to stamp this somehow. Dream Art, when was the last time you did something for the very first time on there? And I'm just going to use my StazOn, so let's see how I do. This little space right here, so I'm going to take the word always, Dream Always Art, and I'm going to stick it in there. Hopefully it fills up that space, or I could just be making a bigger mess. Alright, so I'm still not liking that space, so I've got this one. I want like a really long quote, and this one says mistakes are proof that you're trying, so it'd be dream, mistakes are proof that you're trying, always art, when was the first time. Anyway, you get it, right? Okay, so I'm just going to make this little word montage. Hopefully this solves my issue of that space there. And today is September 25th, so I am going to stamp this on there. And I call that Inspiration Wednesday done. Love it. I know I'm overusing those stencils, but you know what? When something makes you happy, you just need to keep doing it. And Julie's just done such a good job on these stencils. They're easy. They just make life easy. They let me be creative without having to reinvent the wheel. And since faces aren't necessarily something I can do as outlines as strong as her, I'm going to use it until I can figure out on my own how to incorporate my own line art in there. So this makes it fabulous. And I hear helicopters. That was so loud. Anyway, yeah, love that. It wasn't where I was trying to go, but it really worked out well. I love that. And that's also my favorite part too, little thing sticking out. All right, that's it for Inspiration Wednesday. I will see you back here next week.